So on Sunday, after we had come from my prayer retreat, the so-called prayer retreat, people could give money. People could give money. People could give money. People could sell their cars. I know of people who even sold their cars and bring money to the church. I know of people who sold lands and bring money to the church. And the pastor could tell us, can you see? Now it is working. Can you see now? Can you see this thing is working? So I didn't know. I thought that was the way of life. And that is what people do. So I learned a lot of things. After sometimes, I just wanted to know, are they all doing the same thing? Then I came to know that actually almost all of them, they are doing the same thing. Like we used to visit somebody in Tanzania there, like a witch man, a witch doctor, who used to sell to us. There was anointing oil, there was water, and there was this urine from an owl, the urine of an owl, and the urine of an owl, when you smear it on your hands using occultic powers, if you smear you apply the oil, the urine of an oil on your hands, when you just stretch your hand like this, people just fall. People just fall. People just fall down screaming, like you can see women screaming, holding their heads, because in that particular urine of an owl, it's like demonic, because it actually brings the face of that oil to this particular woman. And when they look at it, they don't see the pastor's hands anymore, but they see the eyes of that oil, and then they hold their hands and they scream and they fall down on the ground. Then people think that that is the power of God. So we used to...
Hello viewers, how are you doing? My name is Zadok Thomas, and I want to welcome you back to another episode right now, right here on Pastoral TV. If you're joining us today, thank you so much for joining. Welcome to this channel where we share inspirational stories, and we also talk about spirituality. So today we are in Kamulu, Joska, that is in Nairobi County, and we have come to meet our guest who is not new on this channel. His name is Edwin Mwaka, and we have been following up because the teachings, according to his teachings and the comments that you people have been writing down there on our videos, we have seen people attest that, of course, what he has been talking about on this channel and any other media platforms is true, and that is what people are going through. So today I'm here with him because he will be teaching us something very important, and more importantly, we shall be talking to him and see what he's doing now, because he has been in cultic churches, several of them, and we just want to know, how did he manage to get out, and how is he right now, both mentally, physically, and even spiritually. Karibu sana mchungaji.
So I would just like to begin by giving my life history about where I was born. Myself, as I have earlier said, I was born in a Muslim family, whereby we come from Voi, in a place called Mwatate. That is where I was born. And I was born by my parents, and while we were still young, I think that time I was about 4 years, and it happened that in Mwatate there, in Voi, my father used to go to Mombasa, mostly to work there. He used to be an electrician, and he used to work in Mombasa, and it happened that there was a crusade, and as he was attending this crusade, it was like an open air. It was not necessarily a crusade, but an open air. And he was given a small Bible, a Gideon's Bible, a small Bible. So he came back with this Bible from Mombasa, from the open air. And it happened that as he was coming back from Mombasa with this little Bible, somebody noticed, I think one of his brothers, who was elderly, noticed that there is something that my dad is having, and that was the Bible. And as you understand, I don't want to talk a lot about the Muslims' belief. As you know that actually, if you are a Muslim and you convert into Christianity, that is the reality of the matter, it is the truth. That means you are going to be killed. Mm-hmm. So my dad was actually killed under mysterious circumstances, whereby I was told that he was taken to Tsavo. The place was called Man-Eater. There were lions. Mm-hmm. And he was actually left, he was taken there together with us. We were young. We were three of us, three siblings. And he was taken to one of the houses which was like abandoned. It was lonely. Mm-hmm. And that is where we were taken. And the plan was that my father was supposed to die. So while we were taken to that place, actually it happened as per their wish, because actually my dad was torn in pieces by lions. He was killed by lions. Mm-hmm. And what happened is that he came out of the house, and as he was moving around, the lions came, and it was around 6 p.m. and he was torn into pieces he was actually mauled by lions to death. So we closed ourselves in the house for some times, and when it came morning, my mom and three of us, we left the place and we headed to Mombasa. So while we were in Mombasa, the problem, the story about how my father was buried and whatever, and many things that followed after, mm-hmm. It's just a story for another day. But actually, that is how he was killed, and we were left with my mother, who was now a widow. And a few months, and I'm talking about a few months, that was not more than 3 months, my mama again passed on. She died of, now this one, she just died from sickness. I think it was depression, and she just died like that. Mm-hmm. So we were left, the three of us, children. I was the elder one, and I was around 4 years. So we were left, three of us, in Mombasa, in a house of our uncle. And this uncle of ours hired a lady who was taking care of us. So we grew up to know that this lady is our mom, and she was taking care of us while we were in Mombasa. Mm-hmm. But because the youngest sibling was sickling, she passed on again. She just died. She was around 9 months. She died, so we were left, two of us. So this lady that was hired to take care of us, we knew that she was our mom, and she wanted to leave us and return back to her place. She was coming from Eloret in Rift Valley. That is where she was coming from. Mm-hmm. So she wanted to actually abandon us and run away. But my uncle talked to her, and he told her that, please, why can't you just take care of these children, because I will pay you, and also if these children, if you leave them, they are going to die. they are going to be killed. And you know, as that community expects, they wanted all of us to die. All of us, we were supposed to die. So that because they believed that somebody converting to Christianity, it was like an omen to that particular religion. It was something that was not called off.
So the whole family was supposed to die.
So the whole family, they believed that that seed can grow. So, you know, this community believe in seed. So they wanted to do away with this seed completely. So we remained two of us, myself and my little sister. And this lady was taking care of us. And after some times, she wanted to go now to leave us. But my uncle talked to her and said, please go with the children so that I will help you. Wherever you go with them, I will be helping you. So the lady took us, and that is how I found myself in Eloret town. So in Eloret town there, we are there, and we have other children who are there also for this woman. So there are many also. There are around 8. So we are a good family. Unfortunately, while we were in Eloret, something happened, because that time I used to go and work. Although I was in school, I was taken to school in primary, but I could still go and do some work because that family was very poor. It was very poor, and there was a lot of, what I can say, so many problems that were surrounding that particular family. They were not well off. So we are there, and we are living together, around 12 children now, including us. Then I used to go and do some work outside. I remember I was working in the compound of a particular man who was...
You were kind of a shamba boy.
Who was a chief, yeah. He was actually a chief, and he used to hire me together with a certain brother who was also living with this family. So we could go and do some work in his land, his shamba, like now dig the toilet for him, and make some mud houses for him. Then he could pay us something small. Then I could take this money to go and buy some food stuff, not only for my sister, but also for the other children who are there, younger than me. So that is how life was. It was not easy. My hands had a lot of blisters. And that time, I think now my age, I was about now around 6 years, like that, something like that, 6 to 7 years. But I could still, I remember I worked. I did work for that particular chief for many, many months. So something happened one day. I was not around. And then coming back, I found my sister was very sick. She was very sick, and the temperature was high. And I tried to give her some food. She could not eat. She was just sleeping throughout. And then I left for, I went for the medicine, to look for medicine so that I can give her the medicine. So I went to look for the medicine from a chemist which was not near. Then by the time I came back, I found her. She was still sleeping. I gave her the medicine. Then I wanted to prepare something for her to eat. So as I was in the kitchen trying to prepare something for her, of course, most of the children of that particular family were bigger, so most of them were not there. Others were in boarding schools, and we had remained just a few of us. And there I was, trying to look for something for my sister to eat. Little did I know that my sister had passed on. So when I came back from the kitchen, I went straight to where she was sleeping, and I tried to wake her up. She could not wake up. So I didn't know what had happened. And I just started crying, and people came, of course, and the mother who was taking care of us also came also. And then it was discovered that my sister was gone. So I remained alone. So life was not easy. Although I was going to school, life was not easy. I used to walk very far away to school, and life became more tough and tough. And one day, especially the family, we used to have so many children, and sometimes when food is cooked, you find that there was a lady there. She used to, the moment food is cooked, she start quarreling anyhowly. And sometimes she can send you for errands when the food is set on the table. So I remember one day, they had prepared food, and the food was set on the table. And before we started eating, sometimes when they send you on the errand, by the time you are coming back, the food is over, or they have left for you just small leftovers for you to manage. So they used to send me a lot. I used to be like an errand boy. I'm the one who was very quick to be sent. So a time came that I was sent to go and look for the cow, water the cow. The cow was in the field, and food had already been set on the table. So I ran as fast as I could to go and water the cow. And then after watering the cow, that is giving the cow water, then I came back. As I was coming back, she could not believe that I had already attended to the cow. So she asked me, "Have you watered the cow?" I said, "Yes." "Really?" So it's as if she didn't believe. So she told me, "Go back now and change the cow. Go and take the cow to a particular location, a certain location." So I started running again as fast as my feet could carry me. I ran like lightning. And where she was telling me to relocate the cow, it was not near. So I changed the cow from that location to the particular location where she wanted, and I was coming back now. And I was in a very high speed because I didn't want I didn't want to miss food. That time I remember they had actually prepared a chicken. It was a chicken and ugali. So I didn't want to miss food. So I came as lightning. Before I reached at the compound, somebody, that place is like a homestead where we have shambas. We have a maize plantation. It was a big plantation of maize. Somebody had put a fork djembe at the entrance of the gate. A fork djembe. So as I was in high speed, I fell on that fork djembe. I fell on the folk jembe, and it split my leg. It split my leg. It was so painful. Blood was gushing out like water. It was so painful, unbearable pain. I just slept there. I could not move. I could not stand. The pain was unbearable. The pain was unbearable. I screamed, but nobody could hear me. So I just lied there. I took some soil and covered my leg because there was a lot of blood. So I covered my leg with soil to stop blood. And then I just slept. I just slept backward. And it was, I remember it was very painful. It was very painful. So I even have a big scar on my leg up to now. So this lady who was sending me for errand, she came, and as she was coming, she saw me sleeping on the compound somewhere at the gate. So she didn't know what had happened to me. So she thought that maybe I'm being what, heady. So she went and called others, and they came, and they found me lying there, and they started whipping me. They started caning me. So they caned me thoroughly. So as I was screaming, I lifted my leg up so that they see. Then they saw blood. So they stopped caning me, and they now pretended that there is nothing wrong. They just want to help me. And then the rest of the story is history. I was taken to the hospital, and after being taken to the hospital, I left the hospital. I was not admitted. I came back bandaged. I nursed that wound for about 3 weeks. It was not a small wound, it was a big wound. Then I continued staying in that family. And while I was staying in that family, there were so many things that happened. So many things. Some things I cannot narrate here. But particularly, I would like to narrate how I came to know Jesus. So while I was in that family, I was, that time I remember, I think I was in standard 6 there, or 7. The years have gone. I was now about 12 or 13 now. And I started, I indulged myself in smoking weed. I remember there was a neighbor who was smoking weed, and he introduced me into smoking weed. So I started smoking weed, I started drinking alcohol, and I started misbehaving, in short. Then it reached a time that I came back from my errand. I came back, and I went to the kitchen, and there was no food for me. My foster sister, the one now we were staying together with, I asked her about food, and she talked to me badly, rudely. So we started fighting. Now, I remember I took a very thick stick. A very thick stick, and I was using that stick to beat her. I really beat her using the stick. I hit her, and in short, I really injured her. Remember, I was using weed, that is bang. So they actually called the police on me. The police, before the police came, remember that place is, we have maize plantation. Maize you can get plantation like 10 acres or even up to 30 acres, 50 acres like that. So it is a place where there is a lot of money. Now, there is a lot of maize, a lot of maize. Now, this, before the policemen came from the chief, that was the AP, I ran into this maize plantation to hide myself. So remember, I'm talking about how I came to know Christ, how I got saved. So I ran into this maize plantation, and while I was hiding in this maize plantation, I felt hungry because I was in the maize plantation for 3 days actually. I felt hungry, and I had to come out of the maize plantation at night. I headed to the kitchen. There was nobody in the kitchen actually. They had also they had gone to the living room, to the main house. Then in the kitchen, I went through the window, and there was nothing in the house. There was no food. Now there was a house there, a house which was abandoned. So I went and got some firewood from this house. I started removing some wood from this particular house. After removing some wood, there was no machetes or there was no axe to split the wood. So since I was taking weed, I started mechanizing the way I can break these pieces of wood into smaller pieces. So I took one of the thickest stick or the thickest rafter, and I wanted to break it using my legs. So as I was breaking this piece of wood, I stepped on it, and I was trying to use my leg to break it into a smaller piece. It actually broke, but it hit me so hard on my head, so hard that I fell down, and I became unconscious. Now listen very carefully, my viewers. I became unconscious, completely unconscious, but then I saw my body lying on the floor, and I saw my body again. The body that was lying on the floor was clothed. The cloth that I had. I remember I had a blue jeans, and I had a shirt, a white shirt that was with brown strips. So I could see my body clearly lying on the ground. I could see it lying on the ground. But I could see my body again, another body. This one was black, a black body. I did not have clothes. I was naked. I was black. And this body was going down, like I was traveling using a lift. So I was going down. Now, I saw myself going down, in a very high speed. The place was so dark. The darkness, it is indescribable. You could cut the darkness using a knife. It was so dark that I could not see anything. I could see nothing. And as I was traveling in that high speed, I found I reached a place where there were so many candles. Candles were in that place. It was like a hall. So many candles. Now I was walking in the midst of these candles. To my awareness, I knew I'm dead. I knew I'm dead. I'm not alive. So, as I was walking in the midst of these candles, I saw a creature. The creature was having a head of a bear. But it was a very strong, the body of a strong man. The body was a very strong man, very strong. But the head was a bear. So this creature came and it was naked. It came and it grabbed him. It took me. It held my two hands, like the way you hold the hand of a baby. So that creature held my two hands. And the creature started dragging me to another place. Now, the place where the creature was dragging me, it was another hall again, but with a lid that is made made of a rock. So this creature removed the lid using its leg, one of its leg, and I managed to see smoke. Smoke was coming out of that particular hall. It was black, thick smoke. Black and thick smoke coming out of that hall. Now, the creature took me and it wanted to throw me into that hall. So as I was being led closer to that hall, remember I'm in a hall, and inside a hall or a pit, I'm in a pit, but inside a pit, there is another pit that is being opened for me to enter. Now, black smoke is coming from that pit, and I could hear voices of people screaming, people crying, people calling for help, people shouting, people screaming painfully. I could hear. And I'm going to be thrown in that particular hall. So when this creature brought me near to the hall, before the creature threw me in that hall, I heard a voice, a very authoritative voice. The voice was very much authoritative. It was full of authority. It was a voice of a man. And this voice spoke in a language I cannot understand. I didn't understood that language. So the creature left me. When the voice spoke to that creature, he left my hands and he returned the lid, the rock lid, to where it had covered the hole. So I started coming out of that particular pit, going up again. I came up and I reached on top of that pit. The place was having green grass. The grass was very green, and the grass was like a mattress. As you step on that field, it was like a mattress, very soft. So I was stepping on that grass, and I could not see any house. The light was like the light of a moon during a bright moonlight. Very bright. So on that field I walked for some time. I walked for some time. Then I came across a house. It was a house that is made like glass, glittering, like grass, not bricks, not blocks, but glass. You could see the house is glittering like glass. But you could not see anybody inside that house. So I came at that particular house. So while I was at that house, I could hear people talking, but people who were talking in this house were like children. Then I saw a child coming out of that house. The child was very beautiful. She was like a girl, looking like an Asian, like a Caucasian. She was very, very beautiful with the white dress, glittering. Her face was shining. So this child looked at me, and it was like a female child. So she looked at me, and she did not talk anything to me. She went back to that house. So while she was in that house, a man came out of that house. A very tall man with the dazzling cloth, bright cloth, dazzling in light. The man was having long hair. So the man came to me and he looked at me. And I was on my knees. I was already on my knees. I could not talk anything. So the man looked at me and he showed his hands to me. When I looked at his hands, the hands were having holes. And then I came to know it is Jesus. So I shouted, Jesus! So the time I shouted like that, I woke up in my body on the earth. I woke up. I woke up, and at that time, it was still at night. I woke up, and I could not move because the wound that was on my head was actually swollen. My head was actually swollen, so I could not even rise. It was still at night. That is the time I knelt down. I knelt down. I said, Jesus, I have never confessed you. I don't know how to get saved. I even don't know how I can give my life to you, but help me. Help me. It was still at night. I dragged myself through the window, and I fell into that kitchen. I slept. And then in the morning, of course, they discovered that I'm there, and they called the police. The police came. I was still wounded on the head. I was taken back to the chief's office. Of course, I was stripped. I was beaten. I was locked up there in the chief's office for some time till evening. Then the police who were beating me, the AP, they told me, young man, why can't you go? Why can't you leave this place and go? Actually, they gave me some fare. They told me, if you can go back to where you were born, it will be better than to stay here. Because if you continue staying here, these people are going to kill you. So I left that place. I was given some money. I remember it was around 500 bob. Then I left the place. Then I went to town. That was in Eloret town. So while in while in Eloret town, I actually joined the street family. I joined the street family. I was there in the streets with the street children, sniffing glue. And there I also had my history. In the street children, life is not smooth. They are going through a lot of trauma. They are going through a lot of torture. So, because sometimes you go to get some food from the garbage, people can come and say you have stolen their things, you are beaten. We used to have a lot of sores. I have ever been beaten by a woman who called people. I almost died. So in the streets there, you find that there are people who could come. People could come in the streets, the women. Some women are just prominent women. They just come in the streets. They pick big boys. Like me, I have ever been picked once. Then they take these boys in their homes. They sexually molest them. And then they bring them back in the streets. So that is what happened with the children, the street children. You see them sniffing gum. That gum, when they are sniffing that gum, you know you cannot sleep in the streets if you are normal. If you are normal, you cannot sleep in the streets. So sometimes you find that when you sniff that gum, you forget about everything. You forget about everything, and you have a false peace. And you can now sleep anywhere. You can sleep in the streets. You can't hear mosquito bites. You can't feel cold. You can sleep there the whole night until morning. And you sleep comfortably, because when you sniff glue, it gives you that false comfort. But the hangovers are so extreme, because after you come out of the drug, then the hangover start hitting you. The reality start hitting you now. So you will have to sniff more and more so that you become addicted. Mm-hmm. You become addicted to these things so that you can live in the streets. Actually, you can't live in the streets without drugs. So I remember that is where children started calling me pastor while I was in the street, because there was a boy who went and stole a woman's maize. I remember it was maize and sugarcane she was selling in town. So I actually sought for this boy and took the maize and the sugarcane he had stolen, and I returned the sugarcane back to that woman and the maize cobs. So from that day, the street children started calling me pastor.
So, because of the actions?
Yes. So they started calling me pastor, and I could even reconcile them. When they are fighting, I could tell them, no, don't fight. Why can't you leave us brothers? So I started being referred to as pastor because I didn't like violence. I didn't like people stealing from people. Mm-hmm. I just wanted us to live life in our reality. If it is going to pick something, if we are given, that is fine. If we are not given, let us go and pick from the garbage. So I was in the street there. I can't remember how long, but it was not less than 1 year that I was in the streets. Then one day, there is a crusade in town, and there was a white man who was taking care of children, these children, and this white man is still there. I can actually say his name because I know he was doing a good thing. It was Michael. So Michael was taking care of children, street families in Kamukunji. He had a children's home, and that is where he was taking care of the street families. Now, there was a crusade that, an open air that was happening in Eloret, in a field called Trecodero. In that field of Trecodera, there was a crusade there, and I happened to pass by. So when I saw people dancing and clapping and singing, I went with my sack, with my dirty sack, with my torn cloth. You know how the street children are. So I just went and I stood there listening to these people singing and admiring the way they are dancing, admiring the songs that they were singing. But I was having my sack, I was having my glue, and I was just standing there. Then it reached a point whereby the preacher started preaching. I still stood there listening to this preacher. Of course, we had other street children sleeping, lying down and sleeping, enjoying their sleep. But myself, I just sat down. I found a place and I sat down. I started listening to preachings. So this man was preaching. He was he was a white man, and he was preaching. There was a bus, there was a pulpit that had been set well, and he was standing there preaching, and we had few people listening to the preachings. I was one of them. So when he finished preaching, he asked if there is, people moved. Of course, people sang a little bit, and then people moved closer. And then he asked who want to be born again. I was among the people who moved closer with my sack and my glue. So he asked, who want to give his life to Jesus? I lifted my hands up. I remember I was the only person who lifted my hands up. One of my right hand. And my left hand, I was holding my glue and a sack. So this man saw me well. He saw me lifting my hand, but he did not want to pick me for salvation. So he looked at me, and then it was like, this not like, it's not a human being. So he continued asking, who want to give his life to Jesus? Do you have anybody else who want to give his life to Jesus? Then I threw my sack down and my glue. I lifted my two hands now up like this. So the man saw me, but he still ignored. He still ignored. He did not want to see me. In fact, he started shifting his eyes away from me. But there is a pastor there. I will never forget this pastor. This pastor saw me. He's an African pastor. He saw me lifting my two hands, and he came where I was. And because this man, the one who was asking one to give his life to Jesus, because he ignored me, I moved closer and lifted my two hands up, and I was in tears. So the pastor came. He actually hugged me, and he started praying. I don't know what happened to the pastor. The pastor prayed and he was crying, and I was holding him. I was also crying, and the pastor took me to his vehicle. So while I was in his vehicle, he told me, do you want to give your life to Jesus? I said yes. So he led me in the prayer of repentance. I actually repeated that prayer, which many people say, don't repeat, what, blah, blah, blah. I repeated that prayer. I am where I am because I repeated that prayer, because I could not pray myself. So he led me in the prayer of repentance. And he asked me where I live. I told him my story. He told me it's okay. So he took me to his house. He actually bought me new clothes, and he asked me if I will go back to school. I said yes. He took me back to school, that pastor, and I was in school now. I remember I enrolled in class 6, and I was now in school. But the wife was not happy. The wife did not want me to be there. So the pastor told me, I will take you to the children's home. I said, yes, no problem. But you continue with your education. I said, yes. So he took me to a children's home for that white man in Eloret. Then I was there in that children's home. Then the pastor again told me if I can go and stay in the church. There was a house in the church. So I was taken to a house in the church. This house in the church, it was an abandoned house actually. So I remember we were with another brother living together in that house. And as we were sweeping that house one day, there was a reptile, a snake. We killed several snakes there. We were sleeping down, and we could now, when we are not at school, we could wash the church, arrange the chairs, wash the pastor's car, clean the compound, and we used to take, like, to be caretakers of the compound, the church compound. So God helped me. I finished my primary, and the pastor asked me if I will go to the secondary, if I am willing to continue with the education. I say yes. So he helped me. I went through secondary education. That is the time now I was still with this pastor. He was a good man, and he took me actually through secondary education. Then I finished my secondary education, and there is a time I remember I went for prayers. I used to go for prayers a lot. The time I gave my life to Jesus, I used to go for prayers a lot. I happened to go for prayers about 1 week. Then afterwards, I came out from the prayers. I was now breaking my fast. As I was on my way back to the church where I was living, I felt like I should buy 2 bananas to eat. So I went and bought 2 bananas. So when I wanted to eat these bananas, I'm telling you, my viewers, God speaks. I heard deep in my heart, don't eat this banana. Don't eat them. Take these bananas to your pastor. I was shocked. I was shocked. How can I take 2 bananas to the man of God? The man who has vehicles, the man who has a big house, the man who is rich. How can I take 2 bananas to him? But the voice spoke to me candidly. Take these bananas to your pastor. It was so clear as crystal. So I took the bananas. I started going, thinking deeply. What will pastor think when I give him the 2 bananas? But anyway, I just went. I reached his compound. Remember, his wife was there, and his wife didn't want to see me. So I just went and I knocked at the gate. The wife came, and it was like, what do you want? I told the wife I wanted to see the pastor. The pastor is sleeping, but what do you want? I just cheated her that the pastor had sent me for something. I'm bringing it to him now. So she allowed me. I went into the house. The pastor was actually sleeping, the bishop. Then in the house, I just sat there. The woman attended to me, the wife now. She brought some tea. I took some tea, and then after that, the pastor came, now the bishop. So when the bishop came, he just greeted me. How are you, son? I said, I'm fine. And then he sat next to me. Then I took the 2 bananas which were in a paper bag, and I told him, before I gave him the bananas, he asked me in Swahili, what have you brought for us? Umetuletea nini? Then I took the 2 bananas and I just handed the 2 bananas to his hand.
They were ripe?
Yeah, they were ripe. Then the man was shocked. He was shocked. He looked at me. His countenance changed. I was surprised. Have I done anything wrong? So he stood up and he went back to his bedroom. I was tensing. I was shivering. I was shaking. I was sweating. I said, what have I done? Have I done anything wrong to this man of God? Now, he stayed in the bedroom for about something like 5 minutes. Then he came back. He came back and looking at his face, it was as if he was crying. So he asked me, who told you to bring bananas to me? I just told him I felt I should bring the bananas to you. Then he said, you don't know what you have done. So he started talking to me. He said, I was in a sleep. And when I was sleeping this afternoon, I saw a hand of a person giving me bananas, 2 bananas. And I started lifting my head to see who this person is, but I could not see the face of the person. I just saw the hands of the person giving me 2 bananas. Then he told me this vision, the dream, repeated itself 2 times. Then after he had woken out of the dream, is when I'm coming to give him the bananas now. Then he told me before I came to give him the bananas, he was asking God, what does this dream mean? That is before I came in his compound. Then God told him, the person will bring you these 2 bananas. The person will bring you the bananas. Please help that person. By that time, the pastor, the bishop, was having a very big church. And he had invited, there are people who are coming from Kamagambo Teachers College to minister. So one of the brothers that were coming from Kamagambo Teachers College, that was in Kisii, had told the bishop that he wanted him to give him 3 children that they will help, that they will take to the college, to the teachers' college. So the bishop had already selected, of course, their own relatives. Me, myself, I was not their relative, but he had already selected 3 of their relatives. So he had to drop one of the relative to fix me there because of that dream. So that is how I came to be admitted in a teachers' college. That is Kamagambo Teachers College that is in Kisii. It was like that. Now, I have gone through my college, then I'm back. So the time I came back from my college, I found out that the church had split. There was division in the church, and the church had split, and there was a group that had splitted and left the main church, and they had gone to open their own church. So I was confused on coming back. Then I just came back in that confusion. Then I said, what can I do? Then that is the time I joined a certain church in Eloret there. The church was a big church, and when I joined that church, I started interpreting for the man of God. I was an interpreter. Then in that church, I was there serving as interpreter. The pastor was not married. I can't mention his name. As I was serving there in that church, one day I used to go to the pastor's place to play the piano, the keyboard. So I used to go there every Saturday. So there is one of the Saturdays I happened to go to the pastor's place. And as I was in the pastor's place, I went and I found the door was opened. I tried to knock. Nobody was responding. But since the door was opened and I have been going there before, I just went straight in the house, and I went and I took the keyboard and I took the plugs and I plugged the keyboard. I started playing the keyboard. I didn't know, little did I know that the pastor is in the house. And as I was playing the keyboard, the house was a two-bedroomed house. It was a two-bedroomed house. So in the kitchen, in the living room, that is the sitting room, there was a door that was entering one of his bedrooms. So as I was playing the keyboard, suddenly I saw a lady peeping from the bedroom, and our eyes happened to meet. Then she went back. She was wearing a towel, and she went back quickly in the bedroom. Then I was like, what is happening? What have I seen? Then I left playing the keyboard. I sat down. I was dumbfounded. I was shocked. Then I wondered, the pastor is not married. What is this lady doing in his house? When I was still wondering, what is this lady doing in the house of the pastor, as I was sitting down on the sofa contemplating, the pastor came out of the bedroom, and he was actually agitated. He looked at me. He was very much agitated. And he asked me a question. Why have you come in my house without knocking? Who told you to come in? Why have you come in my house and you are taking the keyboard and you are not even asking for permission? You are not even knocking the door. Then before I responded, he told me to stand up and walk out. Now I wondered, because actually I have come in the house of my pastor before without knocking. I have taken the keyboard before without asking for permission. I have played that keyboard in his house many times without even asking for permission. But this time the pastor is agitated and is angry at me, and he told me to stand up and walk out of his house. So I left the house. That was on Saturday, I still remember. And I went back home. But in the morning on Sunday, I was in the church very early. So the pastor came and he found me in the church. I had already arranged the chairs. I had already swept the floor and made everything in order. The pastor was shocked. When he saw me, he didn't believe. He looked at me. I could see from the way he was looking at me, he was very much surprised, because he thought that he thought maybe I will not come back to church after he had actually chased me out of his house. He thought I will not come back to church again. So that time, I used to interpret. So he stood and he didn't want me to stand again. I picked another lady to interpret, and I just sat down. So as that lady was interpreting, the pastor was preaching. He did not want to look at me straight. He was looking the other side. He didn't want my eyes to have contact. He didn't want eye contact with me anymore. So this lady could not interpret well. She was struggling. Then the pastor said, "Okay, Teacher Mwaka," used to call me Teacher Mwaka, "come." So I came and I started interpreting as usual. Then after the service, he called me out and he asked me a question. He asked me, "When you came in my house, did you see anybody?" Then I told him, "Yes, I saw a lady in your bedroom." Then he was shocked and he said, "You saw a lady?" I said, "Yes." And he said, "Don't tell anybody what you saw. Don't tell anybody. Just keep quiet and forgive me for my for being rude to you yesterday." Then I told him, "It's okay, no problem." But then it came to pass that this lady, it's a long story. The lady was actually taken from Nakuru, from Elbagon. She was a school lady, and the pastor was cheating us that the lady is his sister. But we later on came to discover that the lady was not his sister. So I stayed in that church for quite some times, and that is the time I left. By the time I left that church, I joined another church. Now, this church I joined, and as I have ever told people, that when you are being introduced to occultism, sometimes you cannot know. So, as I was in this church, I was again an interpreter, and I was very close to the pastor, and we used to go together for many missions. We have gone for missions with this pastor, even outside the country. We have gone in all of the Eastern African countries. We have gone to Zimbabwe. We have gone to South Africa. We have gone to Namibia, and many other countries like Malawi. So we used to work with him very close. We used to do ministry together. That is when I came to learn so many things about these particular pastors. So why I'm saying this? I'm saying this because I was really shocked. Myself, I used to think that when people serve God, they just serve God in truth. Of course, that is what it should be. But when I was in this church, there are things I used to see which were not biblical. Like, for example, we could go to a place in Nakuru there, a few number of us. There we could use the pictures, the photos of people, prominent people, like the rich guys, the people who are rich, people who are landlords, the managers, the CEOs, and the people who have money, the bankers. So we could take their photos, and then we go with these photos to a solitary place in Nakuru there. It was a place whereby people used to go and pray. And then we were told we are going for a prayer retreat. Then we could cast spells on these photos. Like we could sit in a circle, and then we start exchanging the photos and casting spells. Like, you so and so, you are going to bring money in this church. You are going to sell your car. You are going to bring money. You are going to sell your house. You are going to bring money in this church. We need your money. You will not have peace. You have to give us money. So those are kind of the spells that we used to cast on these rich people. And it worked. Spells work, especially when somebody is fasting. Spells are very powerful. So on Sunday, after we had come from my prayer retreat, the so-called prayer retreat, people could give money. People could give money. People could give money. People could sell their cars. I know of people who even sold their cars and bring money to the church. I know of people who sold lands and bring money to the church. And the pastor could tell us, can you see? Now it is working. Can you see now? Can you see this thing is working? So I didn't know. I thought that was the way of life. And that is what people do. So I learned a lot of things. There is a time, this is one of the pastors, but after sometimes I just wanted to know, are they all doing the same thing? Then I came to know that actually almost all of them, they are doing the same thing. They are doing the same thing. Like we used to visit somebody in Tanzania there, like a witch man, a witch doctor, who used to sell to us. There was anointing oil, there was water, and there was this urine from an owl, the urine of an owl, and the urine of an owl, when you smear it on your hands, using occultic powers, if you smear you apply the oil, the urine of an oil on your hands, when you just stretch your hand like this, people just fall. People just fall. People just fall down screaming. Like you can see women screaming, holding their heads, because in that particular urine of an owl, it's like demonic, because it actually brings the face of that oil to this particular woman. And when they look at it, they don't see the pastor's hands anymore, but they see the eyes of that oil, and then they hold their hands and they scream and they fall down on the ground. Then people think that that is the power of God. So I used to see this oil working. There were rings also, the magic rings that we were given. And this magic ring, you are supposed to put it on when you are going on the altar, so that when you just stretch your hands, or whoever you will lay your hands on, and knock them using this magic ring, they will stick in the church. They will not go anywhere. They will stick in the church. So the magic rings, the swords, like now there is a time, the magic wands, there are some sticks you've seen, these people wearing these priestly garments, and they have a stick. That one is actually a magic wand, and it coils like a snake at the tip. It's a magic wand. The swords, you are given a sword when you are initiated now. You have to be given a sword. A sword, when you are given in these churches, it actually talks of, I have accepted to give a sacrifice. I will give a sacrifice to please the master, or to please whoever you are serving. Mm-hmm. So the sword is for acceptance. And this sword, you must be given in front of people. Like me, I was given a sword in front of people. You have to accept it and you lift it up. to show that you have accepted to offer a sacrifice. If they ask you to offer a sacrifice of your beloved one, you will be able to offer that sacrifice. So the sword is for acceptance, and you have to sleep with that sword.
So they give you on the altar.
Yes, it must be on the altar.
During
and
church
people
service.
must be there. Many people must be there. That is the time they say you are being ordained. You have heard these people that they are ordaining a bishop. This thing is demonic. Huh? You find them saying we are ordaining a bishop. You want to become a bishop now. You are being ordained. So you have to be given the sword and the magic wand, and you have to sleep with this sword and the magic wand on your bed. So that is where the problem is. When you sleep with this, when you put this sword on the bed and the magic wand in your bedroom, you will always be transported by the demons. The demons will now start taking you to places now. You like myself, I used to see I'm taken to a place, then I'm given instructions. They are given instructions on what to preach. They don't just preach any gospel, any word. They have to stick to what they have been given, the instruction they have been given at that particular point when they were in the so-called visions. They called it visions, but myself, I call it a demonic trance. You have to go into a demonic trance. So in this demonic trance, you will eat meat. That's why I normally tell people, if you dream that you are eating meat in the sleep, you are being initiated, because you will eat meat there, and then that is where they give you the names of the people. Some of these prophets, they can speak things which are true. They are using familiar spirits. So at night they can see Alex is coming. Moses will come and he will be like this and this. Then they will call your name. Moses, are you here? Moses, you are going through this and this and this. Alex, you are going through this and this. Alice, this is what you are going through. So you find that the familiar spirits are helping them to identify the problem that people are having. So you find that when you are having this in that church, the church was so big. We had almost 1,000 people. It was not a small church. And myself, I had a car. I was given a car. I was given a good house. And we were now, I was now deceiving myself that I'm in the ministry, I'm serving God. But then it came to happen that I started looking at these things and I said, no, I think I don't have peace, because I could not sleep at night. The demons could come, sodomize you. Demons could come and you see women, naked women in your dreams. You cannot sleep. I could not sleep myself, because I had already been initiated to demons. So I could approach my pastor, my bishop, and tell him that, please, sir, this and this is happening to me. Then he could tell me, don't worry, just pray, don't worry. So you find that sometimes you find it is unbearable, because you cannot sleep. You hear some of these people saying they don't sleep. You hear somebody saying that they stay overnight. They stay up to 2, up to 3. You think that they are praying. No, these people, when you are serving the devil, when you are in occultism, the devil takes away your sleep and he takes away your peace. You cannot have peace at all. So you find that any moment you try to sleep, you don't have peace. You see things that are shocking, things that you cannot even describe. Human understanding cannot comprehend. You see demons. Like, I remember I was with another pastor. This pastor, he gave me a book. Some of these books you see are used in the churches, the occultic books. You cannot find them anywhere. But there are books. There are churches which have books and very small booklets. So you have to recite the words that are written in those books. Some of the words are written in Latin but interpreted in English. So for you who don't understand Latin language, they interpreted the book in English. So you have to recite those particular verses, like you are summoning demons. There are books which you can actually use to summon demons. Now, when you are reciting those books, and it should be at night, and maybe you are seated on a mat, and you recite those, whatever is written in those books, you recite so many times, you become like possessed. So you can fall in a trance, and then a demon will actually appear to you. A demon will appear. The demon that you have called. Now, I remember I tried with one of the magic book I was given. I tried to recite that book at night. It was at night, between 12 to 1 there. So as I was reciting that book, I started sweating. I was sweating profusely. And my body was shaking, and fear gripped me so tightly, and I left reciting. I didn't want to experience what I would experience, so I left reciting the book. And all of a sudden, immediately I left reciting the book, I saw a snake. I saw it with my eyes disappearing from my presence. And it was a terrible snake. It was a terrible snake. I saw it disappearing from my presence. So some of these occultic books, they are there. And there are some churches which are using these occultic books. I can't mention their names, but they are there. And you find that the necromancing is when we appease the spirits of the dead. So you find that some of these books, they necromance actually. They appease the spirits of the dead to come to the living. So I don't know how it happens, but there are several churches which appease the spirits of the dead actually to come in the living, in the people, to live among the people that are living now. And these things happen in this country. People don't know. It happens actually. You find that like I have told to you, I have told you about the occultic book, which is there, which I have seen it myself. I have used it myself. And you find like that priest was telling me that sometimes before they start a service, they go at night and they appease the spirits of the dead, and they can actually see the dead people in the service. When they are ministering, they can see the dead people standing in the service. You yourself, you cannot see, but them they can see. They are able to see that this is a dead spirit. The Bible, of course, says people who are dead don't know anything that is happening on the earth. That is true. But I believe those are demons. I believe those are demons who come in the faces of people who died, but they have used the bodies of people who died to deceive the people who are living, that these people are dead and they are in their midst. So many things which are happening. Now, I came out of these cults. I was in so many churches. If I may remember, I was not in less than 200 churches that I joined, and most of these churches are mega churches and they are mainstreams. And I have seen things happening, demonic things happening in those churches. I have seen people burying live animals, like burying a live goat on the altar. They bury it, a live goat, and then the more that goat rots, the more the maggots on the goat, the more the members multiply in the church. I have seen all that. I've been in churches like in Mihango. I used to be in another church under a Nigerian bishop. This one introduced me to the use of handkerchiefs. Some of the handkerchiefs you see people holding while they are preaching or while they are singing, they are demonic. Some of these handkerchiefs, they have used them for rituals. They have performed sexual rituals with the handkerchiefs, and then they hold the handkerchief using the microphone so that you can love their preaching, you can love their ministry. It is actually demonic in the making. Demonic and satanism that is happening in the churches. These are things I've witnessed, and I have done them. Myself, when I was in Mihango, I started a church there, and this Nigerian bishop told me, he gave me a ring, he actually gave me a sword, and I was also having that handkerchief. And you find that he asked me, what do people love most? I didn't answer the question correctly. Then he told me people love sex. So he actually taught me about the sex rituals that are done on the handkerchiefs. And then you use the handkerchief to hold the microphone so that whatever you speak, people will not object. People will not question. Whatever you say, they will just say yes, 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 because you actually brainwash people such that they don't use their brain any longer. They think about you, and they look at you as a god. Sometimes you can see these pastors, they are coming from the car to the altar, from car to the altar, from the altar to the car. They don't shake people's hands because there are rituals which they have practiced before they come to the church to multiply people in the church, to bring multitude and crowd that can listen to them. So you find that if you are not in spirit, if you go to that church, you are not in spirit, like the church where they bury a live goat or a live sheep. If you go to those churches, you find their altars are actually, they are caged altars. You cannot move to that altar. They believe that that is the holy place, but it is not. It is actually holy, fake holy, because actually there is something they have done on that altar, and the devil has given them instructions that nobody should step on that altar. So you find that when the pastor is ministering on that altar, if he want to offer you a sacrifice, he will call you. He will say like, come, you, come, I want to bless you. Come over. Then you step on that red carpet. Then he lays his hands on you, and then you fall down. Once you fall down, then you are already gone. It will not take long before you are now physically dead. So you find that there are actually places where sacrifices are, human sacrifices are offered. Because I came to check, when I used to be in this occultism, this practice where people fall down, it actually started in Freemason. It is practiced in the Freemasonry, whereby they knock you with something and then you fall down. Then it's like you have offered yourself a sacrifice and you are ready to die for whatever, you are ready to die for that particular secret sect. You will not reveal their secrets. You have to die. If it is possible, it will cost your life. So these are things which are happening in these particular occultic churches, and I have told people that it is easy to know these occultic churches because when you see a pastor having rings, big rings on the finger, some of those big rings are magic rings. They are occultic rings. They are satanic rings. Some of the rings have a screen, whereby that screen at night they will be able to see the members. In that screen, they can take a razor and sacrifice a member wherever they are. The ones they call the name of that member, he will appear on that screen that is on the ring. And then they cut it with a razor, and the member will die wherever they are. If they are walking, they will be knocked down by a car. If they are in a car, the car will actually just lose control and kill the people plus that particular person they want to die at that particular time. This is what I saw in these churches. And how did I come out? There is a time I went to Nakuru. A time I was in Nakuru. And in Nakuru there, I was having a pastor who is now late. He's not alive. He died. He was a friend of mine. And he had a very big church. Then this pastor talked to me candidly, vividly about occultism without fearing now. So he told me that occultism is real, occultic churches are real, and he even mentioned to me some of the occultic churches in Nakuru, which I know, they are there even up to now. Then he told me that we are going to visit the underworld. I was really interested with the underworld that time. I really wanted to visit the underworld. And that time he talked to me about underworld, and he was talking good things about underworld, how there is a city under the sea, and when you are in that city you can see fish, you can be able, it's like a domed shape, you can be able to see sea creatures, but you yourself, you are not soaked in water, but you will be able to see. It is a city actually. It is a complete city. It has streets, it has factories, it has schools, it even have Bible schools. So I came to know that there are preachers who come from underworld, like the preachers who talk about grace. There are preachers who tell people that Jesus died for your sins, the sins that you committed yesterday, and the sins that you committed today, you are committing today, and the sins that you will commit tomorrow. Jesus has already paid for your sins. So I came to discover that this kind of doctrine emanates from underworld, where people are told to live the way they want to live, where people are taught that sin, God cannot kill you, God cannot judge, God cannot ban you. You are a child of God. He cannot ban you. But it is clear in the Bible. And we have even seen it. We have seen God banning Sodom and Gomorrah, people being banned because of sin. We have seen God pouring flood on the sinful race during the days of Noah. We have seen God punishing sin. So I came to discover that the Bible schools in the underworld, teachers come from underworld to come and tell people about prosperity. People are taught prosperity. People are taught miracles. They are told about miracles, signs and wonders. This gospel emanates from underworld. That is what this man was telling me. So I wanted to see this underworld. I was eager to know about the underworld. Now he told me, he gave me the requirements. The requirements were I should get one egg and I should fast for 1 week. Set this egg aside and fast for 1 week. Then after that, I should get the large intestine. That one should be of either large intestine from a sheep that you have slaughtered, and you get the intestine, then you bury the sheep. And that large intestine, you wash them, then you can use the large intestine to carry the egg. You insert the egg, you get a piece of large intestine, you insert the egg inside. Then you take you wrap the thing very well using a polythene a polythene paper. Then you can put it together with your Bible in the briefcase, and then you are supposed to head to Mombasa. That is where the underworld is. Now, while you are in Mombasa there, you are again supposed to fast for another 1 week. And then you are ready now to go in the underworld. So we did that actually with the man. We got the whatever, the instructions, and we headed to Mombasa, and we wanted actually to go to the underworld. So that night, it should be at night, the man started giving us instructions again. He told us, this is what you should expect. As you go to the underworld, there are two things. You can either come out, or if the master, the devil, if the queen of the sea, if she is interested in you, you may not come back. Now that is what shocked me. So the stories about underworld are real. Because this man was telling me that when you go there in the sea, then you remove that egg, then there are some occultic books which are there that you have to recite, and then you have to throw the egg in the sea. Then the ocean will split. Then there will be an entrance. Then you can enter that particular sea, and your clothes will not get wet. Sometimes the waves will come to the shore and back to the sea, to the shore and back to the sea, and take you inside the water, but you will not wet. You will not get wet, and you will not drown. So he told me that I should be ready either to come back or not. I was told that in the underworld, there are people who get transferred in the underworld. They don't die here. Physically on earth, they seem as if they died. But these people were transferred into the underworld. They are there. They are in the underworld. Yet there are people who used to live here on earth. But they are in the underworld. They are serving there, working in the factories. There are factories there which produces many things. There are many things there. There is actually what we call civilization is taking place in the underworld. Civilization is taking place there. So when I heard that I may not come out, that is when I feared for my life. I feared for my life. And then, of course, the pastor could not force you. I just left the place and ran away. So after running away, it happened that now I had to come out of the whole thing, the whole mess. I went for prayers. I told God, what I have done is wrong. It's not good. Forgive me. I fasted. I started getting tormented by evil spirits. I started looking for people who can help me. I started looking for other men of God to see if they can help me. But anywhere I went, I found either occultism is still going on or immorality. So I didn't know what to do. So I just decided to go for fasting for a very long time. Until now, I always take 3 days fasting every week. And God helped me. And God delivered me. Of course, I had to return everything that belongs to Satan. I had to return the vehicles that they gave to me. Some of them are here in Joska. Very demonic people. Very satanic people. I had to return everything that belongs to them. I had to return to come out of their houses, and I started my life afresh. I left those churches. I came and I started a small fellowship now. And of course, I left everything. I came out with my family. Thank God I have all my children. Thank God my wife is still there. Thank God I'm still alive. Thank God I'm still serving God now in truth. I repented and I told God I have to expose this evil. So there are many evil things which are happening in churches, many demonic pastors. Some of these pastors, like in Nairobi, I've worked with so many pastors. Like in Madare there, I've worked with so many pastors. Very demonic. Very demonic. There are so many signs that you can know these pastors. Mostly they tell you, you hear a pastor saying, you are not supposed to pray so much. You're not supposed to pray so much. God already knows what you need to pray before you even pray. Those are demonic pastors. The pastors who discourage prayers. The pastors who discourage fasting. And there are these pastors who, they are like a comedian. They are just making fun on the altar. And people laugh, people laugh, people laugh, people laugh. And they think that they are preaching the word of God. These are some of demonic pastors from the occultism, anointed by Satan himself. You need to be very careful when you go to these churches. And sometimes mind your dreams. Like most of my members that I used to pastor, sometimes they could come to me, tell me, Pastor, we have seen you with a snake. We have seen you naked. I could get agitated. I could tell them, get away from me. Why do you believe in dreams? I could discourage them from dreaming, discourage them from having visions, because I knew that I am a demonic pastor. And if they have visions, they will discover who I am. So some of the dreams you have are very important. You need to be very careful with the dream you have. So I left those churches. I gave my life to Jesus afresh. And I stayed 3 good years before I came to give this testimony in the media. Now, the reason why I'm here is to open people's eyes to understand the churches and to understand the occultic pastors. The other time I will come here and I will talk about the signs that you should not, if you want to identify an occultic pastor. That is a story for another day. I will come here and speak vividly on some serious signs that you need to note in the occultic churches and how you can know these evil pastors. And these evil pastors, most of them, they will tell you they want appointment. For you to see them, you need to have appointment. You cannot access them. These evil pastors, even if you just come closer to them, you feel that your hair is standing on your head. They have a demonic presence. You can just feel that this is an evil person, even without being told. So, dear brethren, I'm there, and I have started afresh, but I believe that God is going to help me to go through. I believe that God is going to fight my battles, and I believe that somebody who hears me out there, you are going to be helped by this testimony, so that you should not move into these churches as I moved. You need to be very careful, because these churches can mess up with you completely. I've seen people getting mad. Like the church I used to be in Eloret, I witnessed 3 brothers getting mad, completely mad. Even up to now, they are still mad. And they were in the church, intercessors, in the church, interceding, and all of a sudden somebody starts speaking in tongues. Then all of a sudden they get mad like that. I've witnessed myself people getting mad, and it is because of the demonic powers that are being used in the churches. Amen.
And I've seen some people give testimonies. Some of them talked about those people also retaliating. When you talk about them, they start fighting back. They send some spirits to fight you. So how has your life been? Did you see any kind of maybe fights?
Yes, very much. I really faced a lot of spiritual struggle. I've gone through a lot, and I'm telling you, it is real. So, some of these pastors, like most of the pastors I used to have, like three are already dead. 3 are already dead. Like one I used to have, and I left for him a church. He went to Ghana. That is what I heard. After that, he came and he had a very big church, and then he just died mysteriously. He was just brushing teeth, and he fell down and he died instantly. The other one also in Nakuru died also. I've heard that. But those who are still there, especially the ones that can see you and they know that you are talking about them, it is very true. They will have to monitor your life. Like me, what has helped me a lot is fasting has really helped me. Prayer and fasting has really helped me a lot, because when I discover that there is a monitoring spirit trying to pursue me, I will always enter into fasting and prayer. To do what? To fight against this the demonic forces that they are sending. So it is very true. Those who are getting out, you can get out of these occultic churches. If you want to survive, you have to pray and fast. But just getting out of these demonic churches without fasting, without praying, they will still haunt you and they can kill you. I've seen many people whom they have killed. They have killed many people. I can tell you that. But if you want to be on the safe hand, get out of them, get deliverance first, then come and speak. Because if you come out and you go in the media directly, like the way I see people doing, that is why they are being killed. Because you have come out of them and you go straight to the media to expose them. Like me, I took 3 years before I came here to expose them. I've taken 3 years waiting upon the Lord. And then the Lord now allowed me to come in the media and expose them. So with me, they cannot make it. My God is great. Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. And also God told me that he is going to protect me. And God has been so faithful. He has really protected me. Since I left those occultic churches, although life has never been smooth, life has never been the same again, but I thank God I have peace. I thank God I have peace. I thank God that I have my family. None of my family member is dead. I thank God that I'm still born again. I just give God all the glory, because if I can still say Jesus is Lord, uh, I just credit all to God. It is God.
And actually, this testimony is so strong. And people who go through this maybe will think about starting a church. So maybe do you have a church?
Yes, myself, I started a small church. My church is not big. I started. God spoke to me to, especially the most of the members, that when I left those occultic churches, and most of the members who were with me while I was there followed me. I told them, I gathered them, and I told them openly. A few members who followed me, I talked to them that this is what we have been doing. This is what is happening in the churches. I gave them evidence. I showed them photos. I gave them testimonies, experiences, and they looked at it, and they actually confirmed. And I told them we want to start a fellowship, and this one we are going to stand with God, and we are going to speak the truth. So right now, the church I have, I thank God, we don't have many people, but we have Jesus, we have God. And we are speaking the truth, and we are teaching people the truth now, and opening their eyes more and more. So I have a church, and we are in Kamulu here, and we thank God we are going on well. We give God all the glory, because with the little flock that I have, with peace, it is better than having multitude of people, but you are using occultic power, you are using witchcraft. It is better to have 20 members, and you are teaching them the truth from the word of God, and the church will grow when God decides to grow. But as for the occultism, for the powers of darkness, for witchcraft, for spells, I left those things. And my coming here in the media is to confess. The Bible says, confess your sins to one another that you may be healed. So that I can get the true healing in my heart, and also I can open the eyes of many people who are blinded. Many people are being brainwashed in these churches. That is my cry. Again, I wanted to, I'm believing God. Like I went to my place where I was born, and I was chased. I was told that if I want them to help me, I should convert back. I should go back to Muslim. I cannot go back to be a Muslim. I love Jesus. I have testified of Jesus Christ, who has really taken care of me since I was little up to this time. Jesus has been my God and my Lord. And I cannot forsake Jesus in whatsoever reason to go back to Muslim. So I am just alone. My relatives cannot receive me back. I'm just alone, and I'm just with my family, just waiting upon God. And like now, we just live by faith. We live by faith. We live by faith, completely by faith. We have no any support from anybody, but from brethren who just hear my testimonies, and maybe they take my number and they send me something. That is how I live with my family. It is purely by faith, and nothing else, no any other thing I depend on except God. So my prayer is that I wanted to go back and find a place and see if I can even go back and get a small place and just live with my family. That is my prayer. If I can get any support from anywhere, anybody who can be touched by this testimony, you are free to send me something. The number that will be put there on the link. Please remember to help us. We purely depend on faith. Like right now, even the rent, I live in a rental house, and I depend on God. For the rent, I just depend entirely on God. There is a small house I have rented in Kamulu here, and I pay around 6K per month. It's just a miracle. I just pay this rent by miracle. My daughter is going to school by miracle. I just depend on God fully. So if God touches you, you can be of good help to us. Anything you can send us, we'll appreciate. Any small amount, we'll say thank you, and God will bless you. Because the church is too small. Like we are around 15 people now, right now. And in fact, we just meet in the house because we cannot afford to rent a place anywhere. So we just do services in a house, in one of our rooms. And we just thank God from where we have started. So whoever is listening to me, if God touches you, please, I beg, remember us. Remember to send something to this man. This is a man who has seen it all, a man who has gone through a lot of pain, trauma, a man who has gone through rejection, a man who has gone through suffering, a man who is just here in front of you is a man who lives by faith, purely faith. I don't have anybody else to support me. I heard that they are looking for me. I heard some rumors that they are planning on how they can execute my life. But I just leave everything to God. I just leave everything to God. There are others who are in Joska here, very wicked men. They live in the US. Very wicked, very wicked, very wicked. They have done havoc to me. They took away my certificates. Even when I left their churches, they could not give me my things. I'm just there, brethren, men and women of God.
What about the academic certificates?
Yeah, the academic certificates I have, but what they took is the ministerial certificate. I had my ministerial certificate. They took my ministerial certificates away. I used to teach in a certain school. I was fired just because I have spoken about these things. So right now I don't have any job, and right now I just live by faith. Actually, 100% faith. Eating is by faith. Paying my house rent is by faith. I just wait upon God. So I beg, whoever hears this, please remember us. If you see a man begging, it is good to think about this man. So whoever is watching this video, from wherever you are watching, I am your brother. I have exposed these things that are happening in churches, everywhere, in many other medias, apart from this one, in many other medias, including this one. And I have really opened many people's eyes. People have called me from all over and told me what I'm saying is true. And if actually I have become a blessing to you in any way, please remember me and God will bless you. I may not have anything to pay you, but God who is in heaven will definitely pay you. in due time. Thank you so much.
So maybe before I let you go, maybe somebody wants to talk to you directly. You have not mentioned your contacts. Maybe you can just say it.
Okay, my contact is, if anybody want to call me, you are free. You can call me using this contact, 0723 770 333. 0723 770 333 or 0723 770 333. Just call me. That is the same number that you can use for M-Pesa. You can M-Pesa me through that number. Send me anything that you have, and God will bless you so much. God will remember you. God will fight your battles, and God will never forget you. You will never be in the troubles that I've gone through. May God help you all, and may God be your shield at this time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Pastor, for sharing your testimony. Indeed, it has been a long testimony. We have sat here for around 2 hours, and I do believe it has opened eyes of people who have been watching this. So if you have been watching this, thank you so much for watching up to this point. I will also write the numbers down here so that you can support the ministry and also support Pastor Edwin on his personal livelihoods, so that he can at least have somewhere and so on. Yeah, so thank you so much. If you have not joined this channel, please click that subscribe button right away, and also turn on the notification bell icon so that you be the first one to get notified once we upload videos right here on Posho TV. Asante sana mchungaji. At least you have opened the eyes of many people.
Thank you. God
yeah,
bless
based
you.
on the comments that you have been seeing here, there have been positive comments.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, people are saying that it's indeed what you're saying is true.
Amen.
Yeah, they have really experienced this in churches.
Yes.
Yeah, so asante sana.
Amen.
When we get some more time, we shall invite you to give out more teachings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless you.